How do I say goodbye to...
So today's story is about your girl dated a married man. Like, hey guys, it's your girl Absolute Shay Shay here. And if you're seeing me, you know what time it is. It's story time. So yes, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're part of the family, good to see you again. So today's story is about your girl dating a married man. Not by choice, but it happened. So without further ado, let's hop right into this story. So yes, at the time, I was in the middle of doing renovations in our kitchen, and so I needed some samples to see how the kitchen would look like and what tiles and stuff like that I needed to bring the whole idea together. So where else is your girl gonna go? I went to, you guessed it, Home Depot. And so he was one of the associates working there in that department, the tile department. And we're gonna name him, let's see. We're gonna name him Sir. Simple. And so I ran into Sir, he came up, he was like, hey, how can I help you? You know, and I was like, I'm looking for this, that, and another. That we're doing a kitchen renovation. So I needed some ideas to see how, you know, everything would come together. So yes, we started talking and I explained to him what I was looking for and whatnot, and he was pulling samples out so that I can buy and take home and see how I wanted my renovation to go. So yes, before the conversation ended, he was like, hey, look, I really liked our conversation. I really would like to get to know you. Can we exchange numbers? And at the time I was like, all right, fine, no problem. You know, he was cute. You know, I have a thing for bald head men. Yes, I'm like, yes. So your girl gave him her number. We exchanged numbers, and your girl purchased what she had to purchase and went back home. He called me later on that day, and we kind of hit it off. We started talking, and a lot of our interest was the same, and so he asked your girl out on a date. We went out to eat, more like lunch. We had lunch together, and so we started talking, get to know each other a little bit more, what we like, what we don't like, basic information, nothing too personal. But in that conversation, he brought up that he had kids, and I was like, okay, great, so do I. So I had asked him, hey, look, what's the deal with the mother of your kids? Is she still in the picture? Because, there's times like, there's no offense, ladies, we don't want to let things end. If it's done, move on. So I was like, hey, look, how is your relationship and whatnot? And he was like, oh yeah, we talk, but nothing serious. We're not getting back together. We're no longer together. That was a perfect time to maybe hint you were still married, but he didn't say that. And I'm like, he had numerous other opportunities to say it, but he did not. So I was like, all right, fine, yeah, I understand. I still talk to my son's father, but not in the sense that we're together. It's just he calls, checks in, and see how he's doing. That's how far our relationship goes. So it's nothing serious. I'm thinking that's how it is with, his baby mama. So we've been talking for a few months, and, he had asked me a question in regards to my past relationship, and I told him, X, Y, and Z. I'm not even. And so I had brought up, his baby mom, and I was like, there's some girls, there's some women, let's be specific. There's some women who, if the relationship is over, they don't want it to be over. And again, I opened the door for this man to say that, oh yes, something along the line that I am married to my mother's kid, to my kid's mother. One of the conversations we were having was about his kid's mother, and not in a bad way. I had just asked, are you sure that, your relationship with your kid's mom is really over? Because I don't want to be that person who ends up being a home wrecker or whatnot. Again, that is me opening the door for you to say something. I gave him the opportunity, before everything came out, for him to say, hey, look, I know I didn't say this before, but I am legally married to my kid's mother. Let me make the decision if I want to continue to see you or not. Don't make that decision for me. That's how I felt about it. So yes, I was like, I'm not the one that's gonna be, I don't wanna be fighting. I'm not gonna fight for no man. Point blank, period. You're not God, you're not my kids. I'm not doing that. How a bitch comes up and says, that's her man. Girl, have him. I ain't doing it. I'm not fighting with nobody. So yes, I gave this man numerous of opportunities to say something. I'm not that type of person who, is gonna get upset. You telling me that, no. So I feel like I'm cool, you cool, you just let me know. So about a few days after we had that conversation, I get a phone call from an unknown number. And I'm usually the type of person, if I don't know the number, I'm not answering it. But something pushed me to answer this phone call. I don't know if it was the hand of God. I don't know. I picked up the phone and this lady on the other end says, hi, is this so-and-so? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, oh, I wanted to let you know that the person who you are talking to is a married man with 2 children.
Oh my God!
I was like, excuse me, ma'am? You sure we're talking about the same person? And she said, yes. Is this person's name X, Y, and Z? I was like, yes, that is sir. And she's like, yes, I'm talking definitely about him. I was like, oh, I am sorry. I did not know that. We had conversations and he never brought up the fact that he was ever married. So yes, I hung up the phone with her and I called him up. He did not answer me at that time. And I sent him a message and I said, I no longer want to talk to you anymore. I just found out that you are married. After I left him that message, he calls me. Less than about 2 minutes later, my phone is ringing. He's calling me, letting me know, he wants to talk to me. So I pick up the phone and I said, yes, can I help you? And he's like, oh, can we talk? Can we talk? I was like, now you want to talk? Now you feel like you want to talk? When you could have told me this when we first, you knew you were married when we first met at Home Depot. You knew you were married when we went out on our date. You knew we were married when I had brought up all this information. We were talking. You felt the need not to tell me this thing until she calls me up and tells me that you are married. Why is it that I gotta find out from outside sources? Seriously. So he was like, yo, hear me out. Let me explain. Yes, I'm still legally married, but we're not together. We're separated, but I really like you. X, Y, this and that. I really did not care. Do you plan on getting a divorce? What do you guys plan on doing? Oh no, because of the kids, we want to stay married. So don't you feel that this was information that I should have at least known ahead of time? You know? Oh yes, but I didn't know how to come to you. I'm like, then that's your problem, not mine. I don't feel like I need to talk to you anymore, because at this point, we're not going anywhere. We're not moving forward. There's nothing that needs to be said between us. And he wanted us to continue the relationship. I was like, no, I'm not having this relationship with you. You still want to have your cake and eat it too. So yeah, once I found this out, I called my girl, London. I said, London, guess what? I just found out. And she's like, what? What's going on? I was like, you know Sir, right? She's like, yeah. You know, y'all been talking for about a month now. And I was like, yes. Guess who calls me? And she's like, who? His wife. And she's like, his wife? You sure you're talking about the same person? I was like, yes. His wife calls me up and tells me that he is married with 2 kids. I was like, yes, I knew about the kids, but the wife I did not know about. And she's like, yo, homeboy is bold. She's like, okay, what are we gonna do? I'm like, girl, I'm blocking this man's number. I'm not talking to him no more. I don't want any communication with him. I don't want nothing to do with this man. Because the point that I find out you're married, that's it. I'm done. And so he started he blew up my phone. You know, he called and that's why I blocked him. Because I'm like, no. And dude started coming by my house. He started driving by. He would go to places I would normally go to just to see if, we would meet. He would see me. Yes. Sir turned into a stalker. Like, I remember after a few weeks had passed, he was a distant memory. He was gone. Like, I was done. I went back to Home Depot. Again, I was in the middle of renovations. You guys are like, everything was picked up. We were picking up a cabinet for the kitchen. And so I already ordered everything and I'm just picking it up. I didn't want to go in there and shop. I really didn't care to spend much time at Home Depot. I wanted to be in and out and done. So I go to customer service and I said, hey, look, I got my receipt here. Can I get my cabinet so I can go? And so the lady in the front said, sure, here it is. Do you need help loading it? I was like, yes, obviously I can't lift it up by myself. Do I look like Superwoman? I might be cute as she is, but your girl is not Superwoman. I can't lift nothing to save my life. So yes, I go and I pull the car around and lo and behold, who they have bringing my stuff out. Now, Sir comes up and be like, oh, you blocked my number. I've been trying to reach you. I went by your house. I haven't seen you. And I said, well, there's a reason why. I told you I don't want to talk to you no more. Our relationship is done. I done moved on. And he's like, well, I don't want you to move on, X, Y, and Z. And so I'm like, I don't want to have this conversation with you anymore. We done said, I said what I had to say. I'm done. So I walked back into Home Depot and I said, lady, can you please give me somebody else to help me put this thing in the car? If not, I'm calling the cops. And she's like, what's going on? And I'm like, the person who you sent out to help me is now harassing me. And so she was like, all right, I'll send somebody else. So they sent somebody else and he's like, oh no, I got this. And I'm like, no, you don't got this. Can you please, sir, help me put this into the vehicle? I need to go. Lo and behold, I had to call the cops. I literally had to call the cops because he refused to let the other gentleman help me put the cabinet in the car so that I can go. And the other lady was like, I don't know, what else to do. Manager came out and he was making a big scene. So yes, prior to the police coming out, everybody, like the managers out there, the girl that was at the customer service was outside, and he's like, I don't understand, why don't you want to talk to me? And I said it in front of everybody, and I said, this is the reason why I don't want to talk to you. Not only that you knew you were married, but you lied to me about it. And now I told you I don't want to have any communication with you. Hi, that's about it. But you want to still have this conversation. And so they're all in the back. They're like, oh my gosh, is he seriously doing this?
Hey, let's calm it down.
Like, yes. I literally broke it down and I explained to him the reason why I didn't want nothing to do with him, that I did not want to see him anymore. I wanted nothing to do with him. Police shows up to the place and I explained to them what was going on, and they helped the other gentleman put my cabinets in the car, and your girl drove away. So yeah, for me, my whole issue is I do not condone, if you want to date a married man, date a married man. But my thing is, let me have the option to choose if that's the route I want to take or not. But don't make that decision for me. The minute that I find out you lied to me, my trust is out the door, and trust me, it's not coming back. Not at all. So yes, that is how I ended up dating a married man. That's my story for today, and thank you for joining. Don't forget to comment down below. And if you enjoy story time with your girl, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you never miss any of my juicy stories. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!